All right, guys. Hey, it's Stephanie Adams with SOS Solutions. So today, here's what we're going to do. I have a video that I posted, it must be 3 years ago now, that all of a sudden people are watching and asking questions about. So I thought we would do some updates to it, and we'll do it by the bureaus. The video was about updating your name and address as a way to help in your credit repair process. And I remember posting this video because I had learned about it and I was like, well, that's just stupid. But turns out making sure that your personal identifiers are proper really does help in the credit repair process for a couple of reasons. The first, obviously, is we have identity theft running rampant. So you want to make sure that your name, your proper name, is the only one that is listed on your credit report, and the address where you currently reside is the only one that should be listed on the credit report. And you can make the argument for this that your address that you currently reside at should be the only one that's listed on the credit report, so that your personal information is not delivered to somebody else's mailbox. And really, that's true. If you don't live there anymore, you don't want somebody else getting a collection letter from you, or you don't want somebody else who's getting credit card offers in your name because you have these other names on your credit report. So it really is something important to take care of and make sure that your current address is the only address that's showing up. As far as the names are concerned, there's so many different spellings of names, common names, uncommon names. There's so many different spellings. You should really only have listed your actual name and the proper spelling on your credit report. And a lot of this has to do with some of the ways that the bureaus identify you is literally by your first name, your last name, and your zip code. So if you have a common name, I mean, my last name is pretty common. It's been around since, I don't know, the dawn of the United States. But if you have a common name, it's very easy for other people's information to show up on your credit report. So you're always going to be checking for that. You want to make sure that your social security number is the only social security number that's listed, and you want to make sure that your phone number is the only phone number that's listed. And all of this stuff truly is housed in your credit reports. So getting it accurate and clean can help with identity theft, can make sure that your files aren't mixed with someone else. I see mixed files with twins a lot. I see mixed files with junior, senior, and thirds. And so it's very important to kind of stay on top of those identifiers. And then the third reason that this became a loophole is because when a creditor is looking through their system, sometimes they have a specific address for you that they when they're doing their validation round, sometimes they have a specific address for you, and if you remove that address from your credit report, sometimes the collection company has a hard time really finding out, who you are and being able to validate a debt. So that's another reason that potentially you want to remove as many addresses as you can. Now, I will say, with Experian, who we're actually going to talk about today, if they have you connected to a collection, so if you have an old address on your Experian report and it is attached to a collection, they're going to give you a fight on removing that. And I'm going to give you a simple way, two simple steps beyond the original steps. So it's actually 3 steps to work to see if you can remove those addresses. So the first thing I'm going to do, if you watch the old video, you see that I always tell people to do things in writing, get it done, send it through the mail. And the reason that I told people to do that, or that, then I was telling people to do that, is because when I was taught, I was always taught, make sure that you do everything in writing so that you have a paper trail, and you never want to dispute online because you give up your rights to arbitration. Well, come to find out, that information was 100% wrong. The arbitration clauses that people reference when they talk about never disputing online normally have to do with something, a software or a paid service that's associated with the credit bureau. So if you're using Credit Karma, or you're using Experian's their credit monitoring, or MyFICO's credit monitoring, sometimes you'll run into those arbitration clauses that say, hey, if you dispute with us, you can't dispute again online, or you can't fight back with our findings, whatever. And that's a thing. But what the courts have found is that if you do it direct to the bureaus, don't use one of the monitoring functions. You want to go right through the bureau's website, that they can actually tell you that you can't enforce your FCRA rights, Fair Credit Reporting Act rights, by disputing online, because it's another form of communication. So they have to do a proper investigation. So what I have found is that they actually put up a little bit less of a fight, and you don't get so many kickbacks if you do it online. Little tip from me to you. So today we're going to look at Experian. And again, like I said, Experian will fight you on if you have a collection associated with an address. So that is a thing that will happen. But let me take you over to Experian's website so I can show you A, how to create a profile, and then B, how to run the 3-step dispute to get rid of some of these old names and addresses. All right, stay tuned. All right, so here we are in Experian's actual their website to be able to access your credit report. So you're going to go to this website up here, obviously experian.com/NCAC online/dispute, and it's going to bring you here. This is directly into Experian's database. So this is how you can interact with them. This top part right here is really only going to be if you have an existing report number. You can put it in there with your social security number and your phone number. Your social security number, the report number, and your email address. Click the little button for terms and conditions and hit submit, and it will bring you to your credit report. If this is your first step in your credit repair process, you're going to want to actually scroll down a little bit because you need to get to this area right here. Very simple, generic information, first name, last name. If you're a junior or a senior or something like that, you'll put that in there. Your address, city, state, full social, full date of birth, and then your email address. If you haven't lived there longer than 2 years, you're going to just let them know here, and it's going to ask you to fill in any additional addresses that you had in the previous 2 years. And then you'll click the little button and you'll hit submit. So where this will take you is into an area where you have to answer personal information. And the personal information is going to have to do with what they have on file for you on your credit report. So if you know what's on your credit report, they're going to be asking you some questions. Normally it's pretty generic. Well, I say generic, but when did you open your car? Like, when was your last loan? How much are you paying for your car? Really simple things like that. Like I said, if you're familiar with your finances, you should be able to answer those security questions. So let's take a look at what happens when you actually get into the credit report. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you actually get into Experian. It's going to have any name and name variations here. So you'll see several different spellings to names. And then directly below that is all of the addresses that are associated with you, You'll get your social security number variations, your year of birth, so variations, any phone numbers they have, and then your current employers. These are your personal identifiers, okay? Now, this is going to be a little interesting. Experian kind of took the ability away to say, hey, I don't live there anymore. They literally don't give you that ability anymore. So they give you these really weird dispute options here, but we're gonna talk about what to do for this and how to kind of work around it. So if I hit this dispute button, I can pick a reason. So I can say, if the name is misspelled, you can say that you were never known by this name. If this is, if you're a junior or a senior, you can state that the name belongs to another person with the same or similar name. That's how you get out of having those merged files. And then the last one is identity theft. Please do not click identity theft if you're not actually a victim of identity theft. You are committing fraud if you do that, so don't do it. So kind of what does this lead us to? If that's not your name, if that's not the spelling of your name, you've never been known by that name, you can go ahead and just click never been known by that name, and then you'll add it to the cart. When you add it to the cart, you see it start to show right here, okay? Now, if you scroll down, there's a bunch of addresses here. Obviously, you can't see my client's addresses because I blocked it out, but there's a bunch of addresses here. This is where it gets a little tricky because Experian has taken away your true reasonings for wanting these addresses deleted. So here's the options that they give you. If you click dispute, it says that you never lived there, that it belongs to a person with the same or similar name, it's identity theft, or the residence type is inaccurate. So if you know that you've lived there before, you don't want to click never lived here because then you're lying. If it does belong to another person with the same or similar name, much like the one above, absolutely click that one. Identity theft, guys, if you are not a victim of identity theft, please do not click that button. It's fraudulent. So that leaves us with the residence type is inaccurate. I normally hit that the residence type is inaccurate, which is not absolutely true, but it is the only option that I can find that really is a gentle enough lie that you can then submit a document that says, hey, you guys didn't give me the option to put what I really needed to put and why these should really be disputed here. So I just picked what you gave me the option to have. Now, it used to say I no longer live there. The same thing with Equifax. It used to say I no longer live there, and they've taken that feature away, which drives me absolutely crazy. But you can click that, you can add it to the cart, and you'll see the cart starts to fill. If your social is wrong, it'll just say it's not mine. If your year of birth is wrong, it'll just say the date of birth is incorrect. The phone number, it will say that the phone number is inaccurate. I don't know why it just won't do that for everything. And then for the employer, it will say the employer is inaccurate, and you can just add those things to cart. So when you're done with your statement, when you're done with your disputing, you can go to cart, and then you'll just hit this submit button right here. So check over what you've put here, and then just hit the submit button. Now, Experian will kick back and say, we can't delete these things for a specific reason. So let's see if it does it with this one. You can see our system can't process this. Obviously, this is a client that I've done this with before, but it'll say that, you know, the system can't process it. And you can either cancel the dispute because Experian's fighting you, or you can go to this upload link. So this is step 2 of that process I was telling you about. You can go to this upload link and it will take you here. Now, if you go here, what you're going to want to do is have a letter that you've already prepared that says, these names are inaccurate because my name is not spelled that way. This address is inaccurate because I don't live there anymore. I'm not reachable there. I'd like to prevent identity theft. You can put all of that in your letter when they do that kickback. And you're just going to put it in this website here. You still have to fill in all the information. You'll put it in this website here. You'll check the box and you'll hit continue, and it will ask you to upload that letter, and it will ask you why, and you can just say this is supplement to my dispute and send it on its way. I do recommend when you do this, I know there's a lot of information, I do recommend when you do this that you send your name, your photo ID with your address, your current address that you want them to have on file for you, associated with it. You want to send that into that upload portal through Experian. That's it, guys. What you'll see in that, if they take the dispute, so if they don't have any names or anything associated with like a collection on the profile, then it will just go through and say, okay, these items are in dispute. It will give you a report, so it'll give you a report number for you to write down, and then when you do that, you agree to get your results back via email. So in a few days, normally the name and addresses take like 3 days to get done. You'll go into your email, it'll give you a clickable link, it'll give you a report number and a supplement that says 01. You'll put that information in there and I'll tell you, hey, this has been deleted, this has been deleted, this has been deleted. So the name and addresses for Experian is, like I said, it's kind of a 3-step process because you have to Dispute them online. The ones that they won't accept, you're going to create your letter for. So that's step 2. And then step 3 is uploading it into their system. Now, if that doesn't work, your last option, if you really truly need to fight it and need to get those addresses off of there, is to try to file a CFPB complaint. You'll go to consumerfinance.gov. You'll put in why you're filing a complaint. It will ask you, hey, did you try to solve this with the company before? You'll say yes, because you did, because you sent a letter. And you'll explain to them why you need those addresses gone, and make sure you let them know, like, hey, I don't live there anymore. I'm not reachable there anymore. So if somebody is mailing it, then it means that my personal information is going to somebody that should not have access to it. And the CFPB will get involved, and they'll help. They should be able to help remove those addresses. And then, of course, the last step, if they really, really must be deleted, is to seek legal help from an attorney to see if they can help you get those removed. Hopefully it doesn't take you to that step. I hate to see you pour out a whole bunch of money when you don't need to, but yes, if you absolutely have to push it that far, and really the only reason you should have to push that far for credit repair is if you are a victim of identity theft or you do have a merged file, because that's one of the biggest complaints that the CFPB gets, is that your information is merged with somebody else's and the credit bureaus or the creditors are not helping you to fix it. So they see those complaints a lot with people who have merged files. If that's not your case, guys, it's okay if you have other addresses on there that you know you lived at before, or variations of your name that you know are probably really associated with you. It's okay. There's tons and tons of ways to continue your credit repair process, but this is just one of the ways that you can clean up the report and get it as accurate as possible. So remember, you're going to want to go to, oh my goodness, what was the website? Experian.com/NCA online/dispute. I'll put it in the description below so we have it. All right, guys, look for the next videos. There'll be one about doing this for Equifax, and then also one for doing it for TransUnion, who is literally my favorite bureau. I love them. Oh my God, it's 2 seconds, guys. Ridiculous for TransUnion. Very, very easy to do, but you are not giving up any rights as long as you go directly through the bureau and not through monitoring. You're not giving up any rights to arbitration when you do your credit repair if you dispute online, and oftentimes it'll save you on that postage. And the results normally come back a little bit faster. So, all right, I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.